Hi, good morning. It's Councillor Glen. It is Saturday, April the 8th. Today I'm on Cherry Drive, just across from the W.J. Bell Rotary Peace Park. As I think you can see, there's some damage to the trees there. We had the big ice storm this week, and unfortunately, a lot of damage to our tree canopy here in Stittsville. Anyhow, really distressing and difficult to see. I'll give you some updates of where we're at this morning. There are fewer than 5,000 people citywide without power, so that's a lot of progress over the last 24 hours. Here in Stittsville, we have fewer than 20 homes, as far as we know, without power. There's a cluster of about 15 homes over in Fairwinds, and 4 homes on Cloverloft that do not have power. And there's a few individual homes or one business that I'm aware of that may not have power as well. Hydro Ottawa says everyone will be back up by end of day today, which is good. You can check out the Hydro Ottawa website for more information. We're getting a lot of questions about branch pickups and about trees and so on. The short version is, if you see a city tree that needs attention, call 311. If you have branches or other debris from the storm that needs picked up, put them at the curbside. They'll either be picked up on your regular collection day, or we're assessing the volume. There may be some additional pickups as well over the next few days. Also at Trail Road, I believe they're open on Monday. They are waiving the tipping fees for organic waste, so that's another option for you. All that information is available at ottawa.ca and on my website, glengower.ca, so please check that out. Now, if you are someone today here in Stittsville or in the surrounding areas, if you need a place to warm up, get a hot shower, recharge your devices, if you need some water, go to Cardell Rec. There's a lot of services and help available there if you need it. Or call my office or email my office, 613-580-2476 or glen.gower@ottawa.ca. It is a long weekend, but we are checking messages frequently throughout the weekend. Also, I think worth saying a big thank you to people who have helped out over the past few days. Hydro Ottawa, that's obviously their crews have been hard at work in some really difficult conditions, weather conditions over the past few days. City staff, including forestry staff and public works staff who've been responding. The staff at Cardell Rec who've been helping out residents going there for help. First responders who've been helping out, very busy over the past few days. Volunteers, we had some volunteers out yesterday knocking on doors and doing some wellness visits in some of the streets without power, so thank you. And a big thanks to my team, Catherine and the team, for all of their work over the past couple of days to help people get back on track, answer questions and so on. And of course, everyone in the community. You know, whenever we have an event like this, we have people who show up and help their neighbors and help people get back on track, so thank you for that. I'll continue to share updates on my website and on my social media channels. Like I said, we're not through this yet, but getting there. And thanks to everyone for your patience and cooperation. Due to the ice storm, there was an outage of the LRT. I'm sure you're aware. I'm Transit Commissioner, so obviously a lot of my focus was there this week as well. We have a Transit Commission meeting coming up on Thursday, and at that meeting we should have some more information about what happened and why. That's important to understand. I have a lot of questions about obviously why it happened, because we've had ice storms before, and this is a system that was supposed to be built to withstand very heavy ice storms. Obviously it did not this time. We had some new mitigation measures in place based on lessons learned from back in January. So I'm looking to understand what mitigation measures were used and what did or did not work in this case. I'm concerned about the amount of time people were waiting on trains for assistance, and also we're hearing some lack of communication. So there were some people on the trains that lost power who may have been on for close to an hour or even well over an hour in one circumstance. So that's a long time, and they should have had frequent communications, and we're hearing some of them did not. And also about the R1 buses, the replacement buses, understanding how those are deployed and if there's a better way to do that, and what some of the implications are there. So one more thing on LRT. I know it might not always be visible or obvious, but there is a ton of work happening behind the scenes to address some of the short-term issues that need to be fixed, the longer-term structural issues around LRT that need to be fixed. I'm certainly committed, all of Council's committed, and OC Transpo and city staff are committed to getting this fixed. I wish it was something that could happen in a matter of weeks or to get everything fixed, but it's going to take some time, and we are doing that work, and want to thank people again for their patience and your cooperation. And I do understand your frustration, and this will get fixed. It absolutely has to. Another big thing at City Hall this week was the grant for the airport hotel. I'm sure you've heard about this. I've posted my rationale on my website at glengower.ca, and I've broken down all of the public benefits from this tax grant to the hotel. Ultimately, it's about economic development, and it's about helping our airport be successful. And if the airport's successful, it's a huge benefit to supporting and attracting new businesses here to our city, to supporting expansion of flights and services at the airport so that they can compete with other airports, and encouraging healthy economic development in our city. Maybe I'll go into it a little bit. The airport in Ottawa is struggling post-pandemic. Obviously, as many businesses are, and they're competing with other airports across Canada for new flights, for new businesses at the airport. It's a very competitive marketplace. Having a hotel on site attached to the terminal helps them attract the business from airlines. It's one of the criteria, or one of the factors that airlines are looking for when they decide to add new routes to a community. So it's really important from that aspect. It's really important too because the airport owns all the land around the airport. So when that hotel gets built, they pay a lease to the airport to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars, which allows the airport to subsidize new routes. So that new Air France route that's going to start running this summer, it's being subsidized by the airport because there isn't actually a break-even business case for Air France to run that line. There will be someday, but it'll take some time to build up the passenger count there that makes it viable and self-sustaining. So the airport pays a subsidy to get that business started up. And similar with flights to the US, flights across Canada, it's a complicated and competitive landscape. But what many cities do is they give direct grants to airports in the millions of dollars. Halifax, Edmonton, other cities in Canada and in the United States in the last couple years have contributed millions of dollars. We cannot afford to do that at the city, for one. And under Ontario law, we are limited in what we can actually directly grant. So in this case, we're using what's called a CIP, a community improvement plan, to incentivize new development around the airport, which then results in new lease revenue for the airport, which allows them to improve services and flights in and out of Ottawa. Anyhow, it is complicated, and probably more than I can get into here in the video, but I am confident this is a good thing for the airport, and you can read my rationale on my website at glengower.ca. Also this week I wanted to mention I was at an event last Sunday, the OC Transpo Transecure Awards, which was celebrating great safety records and acts of bravery and acts of service by OC Transpo drivers and operators and staff. So for example, on the safe driving records, we recognized drivers who have 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, in one case 41 or 42 years without an accident, which is just incredible. And we also recognize drivers who went above and beyond. When they're out driving, they are eyes and ears in the community, and in many cases, first responders. So, for example, there were drivers who observed people who they thought might be in distress. In a couple cases, discovered they were having an overdose, and they administered Noxolone and waited until paramedics arrived, and probably saved those people's lives. There was one case where a bus driver, a couple operators took out their first aid kits and helped someone who had just been stabbed. and another one where there was a teenager who was being assaulted by other youth, and the operator invited them inside the bus to stay in a safe spot until police could arrive. So all sorts of stories like that of what drivers and OC Transpo staff do, the eyes and the ears in our community in keeping us safe. So thank you and congratulations to those operators. I want to tell you about some upcoming events and volunteer opportunities here in our community. April 15th is our next Councillor Chat, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at No Frills. Just drop by, really informal. You can say hello, ask a question, or share an idea. Looking forward to seeing people there. April 18th is our next Councillor Speaker Series. The guest is Stephen Leafloor, aka Buddha, and we're going to learn about his experience helping at-risk youth. Should be a really, really good talk. You can register on my website for that. The Stittsville Canada Kiwanis Club is continuing the after-school homework club at the Legion, Mondays and Wednesdays. Any high school students are welcome to attend. There's volunteers there to help you out if you need it. There's free Wi-Fi and there's access to laptops too. Cleaning the Capitol, registration continues, so please get your neighbors or your family or your workplace or your class together to pick a park in Stittsville and clean it up. You can register at ottawa.ca, or there's information on my website. We are continuing to accept nominations for volunteer awards, so if you know an individual, a business, or a group that's worthy of some recognition, please check out my website and fill out the nomination forms. I mentioned this last week, but wanted to mention it again. We've had some good response. There's a group of people who are organizing a Pride event in Stittsville for this July called Out West. It's actually for the West End, not just for Stittsville. They're looking for volunteers to help form an organizing group, organizing committee. If that's of interest to you, please email me and I'd be happy to connect you. Okay, last thing. This weekend is Easter weekend. We're in the middle of Passover, and we're also in the middle of Ramadan. 3 very important celebrations for many people in our community. And so if you are observing these holidays, celebrating these holidays, sending out our best wishes to you for these celebrations. It does mean some weekend closures due to Easter weekend for city services and so on. So please check out my website at glengower.ca. You can find all the information there about impacts to city services. And I hope you have a great weekend. It's sunny today. I hope it warms up a little bit here. It's a bit chilly this morning, but have a great week, and I'll see you here next Saturday. Take care.